boys and girls, so today in math we are going to be using our dot cubes, or like some of you have seen, our dice, right? So I chose to get out the big ones so you guys could see them, but if you have dice at home and want to do this practice with me, go for it. So let's review a little bit about what our dice cube are, because we haven't talked about these in a while, right? So on every single side it has a different number of dots, right? So this would be 1, and then we'd move to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? And these are just a really big version of dice that you may use in a board game, or you may use them for a different activity, or maybe you just have them at home. So we're going to use these today, and I'm looking at lesson practice 120, so 120, and it has an A on the front side and a B on the back. So we're going to do both sides together. So we're going to start on the side that has the A and the heart, okay, towards the left side, okay? So these are problem solving worksheets. So it's kind of like what we've been doing. We've been working on word problems, right, with addition. Well, we're not going to add today. We're going to learn a new trick, but they're called guess and check, because we're always, if we guess on something, we should probably check ourselves. So if I guessed how many, for example, if you didn't know how many markers were in here because you couldn't see them and I didn't show you the top, I would say, okay, guess how many markers are in here, if I kept spinning it, right? And you said 6, or you said 2. Well, we'd have to check it, right? So we'd have to go, by checking, we just count. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you guess 6, you're really good at turning and counting, right? And if you didn't, it's okay, because we're just guessing. We also do guessing when we write hypothesis in science, right? We're guessing to make sure that we check ourselves, and then we do the experiment to check ourselves, right? So we use it all the time. It's not something that we're lying about. It's just something that we're trying to figure out the answer, right? So we're looking at the heart side, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, Francisco is playing a board game with 2 dot cubes. After his first roll, he counted 9 dots. Circle 2 dot cubes. He could have rolled to have a total of 9 dots. So we have 2, and it's asking us how many dot cubes on each cube we're facing up to get to 9. Okay, so we are adding kind of in just a different way. So I'm going to draw what you see in front of you on my whiteboard so we can be on the same page. So you have the dot cubes in front of you, right? And they have all the dots on them, okay? So we're going to play a little bit. We're going to use something called elimination. Can you say elimination? Elimination with me, which means that we're going to cross off things that aren't right and maybe put a question mark by things that could be right, or do things like that, okay? So this is called elimination. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a different color marker, a different color pencil, or maybe just your pencil, and this is what we're going to do. So I have the same. So I have a 1 and a 2. Now if I added 2 plus 1, or we counted it, 1, 2, 3, is that close to 9? No. So we're just going to cross them off, because they don't really help us. Now we're going to move to this one. We're going to have 3 and 4. So now we're going to count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that gets us pretty close. But does it get us to 9? No. So we're actually just going to cross off the 3. Okay, because 4 got us closer than 3 to our number. Now, we're going to jump ahead, and I'm going to count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if I needed 6, and I went to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that's too many, right? So probably 6 is too high. So now I'm going to go back to 5, and we're going to count it. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to count 4. 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoa! that gets us to 9. Now, boys and girls, I'm going to give you another hint. That's not the only one that gets us to 9. If we look at the other ones, what could be 2 other dot cubes that could help us? Let me show you another way that we could have got to 9. Count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, boys and girls, sometimes that's why we guess and check, because there's sometimes more than one correct answer, right? So I'm going to write 4 and 5 on my paper, but maybe you got 6 and 3, and that's okay. It just says circle 2 dot cubes that he could have rolled to get a total of 9. So it could have been any of the dot cubes, right? So you can also circle 6 and 3. Awesome work. Good job. You can pause me if you want to take a break, or you can keep going. I'm going to move on to the back, lesson practice 120B, and it has a little star at the top. Now, boys and girls, it shows the same dot cubes that were on the front. So we're looking at the same thing, but it's a little bit of a different problem. Okay? So I'm going to read it to you. It says, Curtis is playing a board game with 2 dot cubes again. So he has 2 of these. And it says after his first roll, he counted 7 dots. Circle 2 dots he could have rolled to have a total of 7 dots. Okay? There's a couple answers on this one too. So, boys and girls, it also says at the bottom, it says, write your explanation of how you solved it. So, boys and girls, today we learned about how elimination, right? We learned about how if you cross things off that aren't right or don't sound right or too small or maybe put a question mark by the ones, then we can get to the right dot cube, right? So, thinking right away, what are 2 dot cubes that could get us to 7? What comes to your head right away that you don't have to do much work for? A 6 and a 1, right? Because 6 plus 1 equals 7. Or you could just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? That gets us to the answer that he wanted. So, boys and girls, that's one answer that you could have just thought of in your head because you knew that 6 plus 1 equals 7. So you could have used addition, which is another thing that you could write at the bottom. Use elimination and addition, right? 2 things that we're learning how to work with in our story problems. Boys and girls, there's another answer, and so I'm going to let you figure out the rest of this problem. You got this, and I know this is tough, but boys and girls, it's just counting dots on our dot cubes, and it's working on crossing off and trying to figure out which one is the best answer. And then we always should check ourselves, right? Because you don't want Miss Gish and Mrs. Johnson and Mrs. Dykes to see something. I want you to check it to see if you can understand what you did wrong first, okay, boys and girls? It's a good way to guess and check. So I want you to have fun in math today, and I want you to enjoy it, and I can't wait to see how you guys did. See you later, kindergartners.